Greetings to you. We are from Spirit. We are Spirit Council. Yes, no, we don't have incarnations on your planet at this time. We are assisting you on your development. We are learning a great deal of how to be human. Yes, there are many rules here on your world. Obviously, you don't always agree with. There's a lot of darkness here that you are releasing. Well, the more that you speak about the darkness, you don't necessarily speak about it verbally, but you're aware of it, the more likely for it to be released. Many humans here are ignoring it. Human trafficking, child trafficking, majority look away. Well, they're told to look away, but more of them are acknowledging its existence, and that's when a lot of your cathedrals start to lose their energy. They're not as strong as they used to be. And you're going into that direction. Obviously, it's not fast, but as you know, many have difficulties realizing the truth on your reality of how truthful it can truly be. Even many of you are still digesting it. So, over here to answer your questions. Please, whenever you're ready to begin.
So your spirit beings.
Yes, we are. Where many of you are going to go when you leave Earth.
Okay. So when we go back to that mist of whatever we are, our
It's energy field.
energy field. Okay.
It's well, yes, you normally do not have a body. Some of you visualize yourself a body when you leave the Earth, because it's what you're used to. A etheric body. It's not really a body, but you visualize it, and you visualize others with a body too, because you remember who they are. But normally, it's just energy, basically.
And as spirit beings, are you? You said you were a council. Are you
Yes.
council for?
Well, we do that so you can have someone as a label. So
We like names.
yeah, so you have something to talk. So we're not going by a name, just basically a there's many of us here to give you different perspectives.
Okay, but you're not an official. You're not like a council for helping the world or council for this or
Oh, we
yeah.
can. Yeah,
No, sorry.
we can
Yeah.
access that also. Yes.
Well, of course, yes. Okay. Okay.
So
Just trying to get more specific
yeah,
because
we are
we like
just
it.
well, we're basically your original form, your original form. Of course, many of you have your own original forms. It's not always energy. You choose the form that works for you. For us to go through that is kind of complicated. You know
But
what you are.
yeah, not here we don't. But you
Well,
have
here the whole point is not knowing here, but
yeah
here is no. You're given the knowledge that you need to know for this journey. Obviously, you can know more, but I'll take you out of this reality. And many of you actually tell yourself, as much as I want to know more, I have to stay where I'm at
yeah
to complete my mission here.
yeah. It's the game and the who wants to know the end of the play. We
Well,
want to watch the play.
you can know too much and not be here anymore. So it's like so you purposely forget so you can be part of the process. Like
Hmm.
you're worth more here than you will be in spirit. As difficult as it is here, obviously you're not the ones bringing the darkness here, but you're here to face it. Not maybe not, human trafficking. You're not here to face that. Some are, but they're not having they're having communication with us, but they're not fully aware of it.
So, in keeping with that, the last couple of weeks for me have been very hard. I've
Mhm.
agreed to hold light,
Mhm.
but I'm having a very hard time between astral and 3D. In 3D, I'm making too many mistakes. Like, what day is it? I just wrote it 5 minutes ago. I ought to be able to write it again.
Yeah,
Losing
yeah,
little snippets of time. Can you tell me more what's going on there?
yeah. You're going more into spirit. Obviously, you're seeing things here that you don't agree with more than you've had in the past. So you're going more into into astral to fix, to repair. So it would be as you would see it, as you would like it to be here. So yeah, you're out of your body more than I believe, you've ever have been. So like with the political situation, you are helping it be similar to how you envisioned it, and others are with you on that too.
Well, I'm very positive, but how do I balance my 3D job is important to me, so how do I balance this? Am I getting interference and trying to balance this?
Well, part of you is in a panic mode. So most of this is happening during your job when you're having issues, or
Yes.
well, I feel like it will pass. I mean, this week has been very heavy. You feel like your next week could be better. Just sleep, just relax more on your time off, the best you can. I feel like the energies on the earth are erratic right now. They're all over the place. So that's another reason why you feel the way you are. I feel like next week things will calm down. Probably
okay,
the
good,
middle of the week, most likely.
The last 2 weeks, I've slept the entire weekend just to get back the energy to go through the week. But I've also got this huge black cat that's just determined to guard the front door, sleep on me to the point where we had to, find an agreement. And then for me, he slept with me for 3 days and slept with my boyfriend for 2 days. It's like we switch shifts. Can you tell me more about what he's doing and how he's trying to help this?
Well, he's doing the best he can. Yeah, he's trying to even out both of your energies. By sleeping on you calm you down. You're trying to do. He's basically helping you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish in astral as fast as you can, so you can get back to your third dimensional life. So, yeah, that's very unusual for him to be doing that, sleeping with you like that, from what I can see. But he's trying to, and it's going to take some time for that to even out. Like I say, probably another week for your astral to finally calm down completely, from what I see.
Okay, thank you for your help.
Taking energies.
Oh, is that kind of similar to like when I put my hand over my chest to try and calm things down?
Yes, whatever form.
It feels like there's a lot of like wind around my hands and stuff, or between me and my hands.
Yeah, you're going into a time of a lot of attention. Many of you are going more into spirit, so yeah, you're gonna have to find ways. Sometimes people have found like certain type of foods to help you chill out, or film, or like entertainment. But as you can see, things are getting more intense overall. So yeah, finding another way to calm things down is going to be creative on your own end. But yes, your hand is one way of doing it. Well, yeah, because you go over your heart chakra from what it seems. You're also a healer also, so that works. And music helps also. Listening to music while you sleep does help calming things down. Maybe not 100%, but it does help.
Yeah, last year I was following the meditations of this YouTuber I like, and she's recommending above and below the sternum. Is that pretty powerful?
Yes. Well, yeah, you're connecting that. So I believe that person is like very Lemurian from what I can see. So that's well. See, as you are doing this, others are feeling that energy also. Well, some feel betrayed by this timeline. So yes, there's a lot of intensity going on at the moment, and you might not feel intense, but yourself might feel calm, but others are not feeling that way.
I sure am. I've been being so irritated at everything, which is not very much like me.
Yeah, that's the energy of other people. So that's your empathic ability. And that's why you came here. To your location has a lot to do with it. This is you say that's your work. There's more to it than that, but you are healing, USA. You're taking on energies that others can't handle. It's yeah,
it's a lot.
Yes, because a lot of humans here are not spiritually aware. Even if they were, I'm not sure if they can even handle it. What's going on right now? Many are afraid.
Well,
So
well, I'm not actually not that spiritually aware, but
you're becoming
I'm
aware.
just accepting. Yeah, 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 I am.
Well, you are becoming more. You are knowing what is you and what is not. I believe what's happening now is not always you.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, I notice I feel more calm when Americans are asleep around those times.
That's good to hear. Because even at night, usually they seem to be still very intense.
I think I'll try to send some sleeping pills down from Canada.
Yeah, because even the astral you think it's intense here. Astral is much more. It's 10 times more for some because they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle what's happening. They're not under their human self and their astral self is just not connecting as it could. So they get anxieties, they get drugs, they get find ways of coping with this reality.
So the last astral dream I had, there was a Viking-like dude who was buried alive. He knew exactly what I was, why I was there to make sure that he was okay. Why was I interested in this guy?
Well, it seems like you're healing that timeline. Finally, he's ready to be at peace with that.
Okay, because yeah, I don't like the timeline that we are on at all.
He was torturing himself from that timeline. So you helping him helps you, it seems.
Okay. Well, were you related in some kind of way?
Yes, it seems to be. They're not going into details, but it's like an ancestor of yours.
Okay,
but
that
it's
makes sense.
One that's been torturing himself for a long time. Look at how long the Vikings were. Sometimes
Yes,
it takes a long time to heal for somebody like that. So
I've been asking, I've been praying for healing for both my ancestors and my lineage going forward because I don't, the timeline that we're on, which I think will change, I feel will change. It's not putting us in a good direction. I've been there, seen there, done it, and have told Gaia that I don't want to do this again, but I will keep my agreement to hold light. But I don't want to watch destruction again.
Well, yeah, you're going to see your light magnify even more. So, yes, finding a way of grounding. Of course, you're already grounded as it is, but finding another way of relaxing yourself is key at this point. Yes. We believe you will find it in some form.
Thank you.
Do you have any advice for those that do feel betrayed by this timeline and played by both sides?
There is a lot of trickster energies on the planet, but don't let your eyes deceive you too much. There is light here. It's just darkness likes to pretend that darkness, all there is darkness. They want to take away the light. They want to make people depressed. They want to cause panic. So as long as you don't let go of your power, you will survive this. So, I mean, obviously no one's perfect, but this is a trick to get people to self-sabotage. So
yeah, I definitely feel where my thought process goes dark sometimes, and you could easily fall down that wormhole, and it's hard to get out after that if you keep, running with those energies.
Well, because some of you see the timelines, at least from the darkness timeline, you see the timeline as a possibility, and it's like, as what she was saying, she doesn't want to be a part of it, and that's what you're working on now.
Right, we are creating them, and putting our timeline as we engage with them.
Even if there is, we're just saying, if there is a sign of war, not that there will be, but if there is, you just keep putting out your vibration of just closing out that timeline.
Right.
Yeah, not that it's going to happen though.
I was a little conflicted today because something was confirmed with a meditation group that I participate in, Global Meditations, and they have differing political opinions, and I feel like the stuff that they're putting their energy towards is kind of antithetical to what I'm trying to do. I'm not coming up with the right word. Am I shooting myself in the foot by participating with this group? But
well, interesting. It seems like you're healing their energies.
yeah, I feel that as
That's
well.
why you're there. Yeah, they have one way of looking at things, and you have another. But that's why you're there, to balance their vibrations. So,
yeah, like going forward, I don't know how much to invest into this group.
You'll know when it's time to leave. Yeah,
it just seems like that's the case. Like the writing's on the wall.
Yes, that's their decision, obviously, as you know. And I believe you kind of saw this earlier too. But
Right. Yeah, today was just confirmed. So
yeah, but yes, it doesn't mean you have to stay there. That shows you how a lot of spiritual groups are kind of falling into that direction, unfortunately.
Right, false light. Right.
They have, yeah. But that's how it's always. I wouldn't say it's always been like that here, but it's very common here. It's been
Right.
religion does the same thing. Now it's going. Now you're seeing
this new age version of
it.
it.
Yeah, you're seeing. Yes, exactly. You're seeing what religion's been doing forever. Now you're just seeing spiritual groups. Especially that's how the priests got away with what they've gotten away with, and they've lost their souls, most of them, when they do human trafficking or child abuse. They just completely lose themselves, but they want to stay in power. So to them, that's the way of staying in power. So that shows the consciousness of the church that they're connected to, though. It's not just the priests; it's the consciousness of those controlling that of the church itself. Yes.
So for those of us going forward that kind of feel spiritually homeless, in a sense, are there groups already pre-existing that kind of make us feel more at home, or are these groups going to start popping up in the time to come?
Well, it'll be sometimes. There's a lot of, as you know, manipulation going on out there. So it's going to be some time. But eventually, yes. Yeah, that spiritual groups have to find their darkness before they find their light. So I believe you will find I feel like you're working more on yourself, and you don't necessarily need that energy anymore, as you know. So
yeah, let's get into that point. But being self-sufficient within myself gets kind of redundant after a while. You want to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, some of these groups, I believe this one's successful, from what I can see.
Yeah, they're doing well. Yeah,
that's why. I mean, you can be successful, not be corrupted, but this one wants to be successful, and they chosen a timeline to be taken over, which is common.
Now, is there anything I do with the healing that I'm doing with them that they can, divert away from those lessons, or is that something that they're choosing to go through regardless?
Well, it looks like the leader is the one doing it and misleading the rest. Does that sound correct, or sound?
Yeah, she kind of self-censors the group as well.
Yes, so that's showing she already made her decision. So you can do what you feel. You can look at that. I think you've already looked at it spiritually. So,
all right, thank you for that.
So they do that to stay in power. Now they don't always have to do it, but in that case, that one did it. It's just and once again, religions, churches do the same thing. They want to stay in power, so they do think for them it's child abuse. Well, it depends on the church, of course.
Now this group, she says she has a connection with Metatron. I believe there is a connection there. Does Metatron have any message on this situation and with people using his name?
Well, there is a dark side of Metatron that she has apparently agreed to. There's a positive side of Metatron, as there's a positive side to everything. So there's more of a darkness, more of a selfish side that she's tapped into. Because the darker side wants control over that group. And she gave it to him. So
I see. All right, thank you for confirming that.
Yeah, it all has to do with choice. You'll find that very normal with Metatron, though.
in with the people that are more traditionalists, they're going to look at him as skeptical as well and label him as dark. So it just comes with the territory.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And even though I feel like I am associated with the dark side of Metatron, can you explain more of that? Because I don't have that affinity for him.
There is a worship. People worship him, just like they worship Jesus, and they're giving their power to him. So there's a darker side of him that's controlling this reality.
Okay, because I'm of the belief that we are all created equal, and we put our pants on one foot at a time, just like all of us do. So I don't believe one is above the other.
Well, others do. Well, they have to find ways of keeping this reality going.
Yeah, you need leaders, but they get to the point where my connections that we've talked about with some of the most famous leaders, that they get to a point and then they just turn. They take that evil timeline.
Right. Yes, you are correct. Well, even with Yeshua or Jesus, they have taken that to a whole new level, using his name to manipulate others. So
this is why I'm hoping for like a council to replace government. This idea of people who really do have the knowledge or the heart there to help this world go towards where it wants to go, rather than, as a leader, part of being a leader is wanting power, and then of course power does corrupt, and it does take that personality. But as a council, I have this idea that it would be an easier and more beneficial method of ruling.
well, yes, it's like a community, like you would have currently, like when you can go to your local government and speak what's on your mind. It's going to turn more into that, but those that are speaking their minds to the government can be part of the council eventually. It's more open. It's like a Greek society. It's just more, anybody can be a member, instead of this, you have to have a lot of money and all this corruption, where there's no money exchange of hands, really. I mean, there's funding for it, but eventually that's going to evaporate when the day comes. It is obviously the bankroll, the wealthy's bankrolling who they want in charge, of course. That's how they keep control over everything. But if you remove that, then you have a different world, of course. So, which is not something you move into quickly. You say technically the United States is in that. It's going into that direction. It's just not there yet. So when it begins to
there's something holding us back.
Of course.
What's holding us hostage?
Well, it's human collective. At least the United States is not ready for it yet. It's a process. It takes time. You're slowly heading into that form. It's just people are right now getting used to the way things are now. We do see a female president energy coming into the United States also, as you can see currently. And that will also break down the old traditions. And old traditions begin to break down one by one, but it takes time. So, and you just keep using your healing power, your positive healing power, that you're not going to go take over other countries. You heal that timeline, which is not going to be easy, of course, but that's what you're working on now. So just, yes, calm and quiet is what you're working on right now.
Yeah, I feel like a big pause until something clicks the human collective so we can move forward.
Yes.
So as a female president to bring more to bring a voice to like women in the U.S.
Sort of, yes. Maybe not at first. As you know, the black president didn't really bring blacks together, really. It takes time for that. Most likely, it'd be more selfish at first. Is tradition in government currently, but yes, one day, yes, as the old guard begins to break down.
But for now, the same advice is make peace where we are, calm down, enjoy our lives. It's all still small for us. Is that it?
Yeah, the idea is concentrating on yourself. More of your internal energies are getting stronger now. It's time for that. It's just not always showing itself. Just be confident in yourself of the timeline that you want. Yeah, like you said, you don't want these old timelines of the old guard. Yeah. Of manipulating other countries, things of that kind. So, trust me, the consciousness is hearing it. They know, they've heard it all. But keep on putting that vibration out.
So is there nothing new then? I mean, this has been going on for a really, really long time.
Not really. Well, it depends on how you look at it. Well, you're in a different age, as you can see. So there's a lot of internal. This is a new. I don't believe people are in this much stress a week ago. So things are changing.
So it's just the time that it takes. The things that it
everything
is happening. It's just
everything has to take a very long time, because if you change things quickly here, most humans here are just not. They'd rather be in the 1950s right now. They have those mentality currently. They're used to being told what to do. Many of you are broken and free from that, but remember, your numbers are very small compared to the rest.
We're living in Pleasantville still.
Yes, your mind control it's easier. This is a high mind. There's many different high minds that are working. They're called channels on your television or your streaming shows, whatever it might be, controlling society. Well, once again, that's keeping their sanity right now. It's better just to close off the mind than to open it, because it gets very frightening out there, isn't it? Because if more people open up their minds to what's here, I mean, truly, yeah, the human trafficking will be up here right, not at your doorstep, but it'll be easier to be seen. If so many look the other way, it hides. So if the whole world had a nice meeting, it's like, let's look at what's been hiding here. And if more people actually believed it, I mean, they say one thing but do another. That's common on your planet.
I have a technical question, given that you're spirit, and I listened to Abraham Hicks for a long time, and their message, is to anything that you don't agree with, or you can't handle, or you can't deal with, or it's bigger than you, just put it aside. That's not your battle. Just ignore it and concentrate on your own thing, because when you put energy towards something else, you're just feeding it. And now you're saying at the same time, now we are supposed to be putting energy towards getting evil, whatever, trafficking and all this stuff. As it comes out, we're helping discover it.
Yes.
So where is that line of, should I be aware of it enough that it doesn't make me feel bad, but not trying to keep it out of my existence completely? Where is the line there?
Well, you're aware of it as we speak. You're aware it exists. You feel the energy of it. I believe you at least feel the energy of it. That's all you need. You just know it exists. You can feel it. That's it. You don't have to go and research it for 20 hours or for 2 weeks or anything like that. You just acknowledge, like, human trafficking. Is that really? And you tap into it for a second. And it's like, whoa, it is real. Something's here. It's hidden for obvious reasons. And that's all. And humanity can acknowledge it. Instead, yes, they turn it off, but they can acknowledge it. But obviously, many are not strong enough to see it. But many of you are strong enough. So you're doing it for others too. So the reason why we're bringing it up, because others can say, I'm not afraid of it. Others might be. Not that that's bad, but you're just aware of your own power.
I don't feel like I'm afraid of it. I think that it's, you have to acknowledge that it's there, but did these people choose to go through this experience? And
yes, that's true.
Being a parent, it's very hard to see your child go through something that is so detrimental. I mean, I know that my gut intuition saved my butt a few times from going down that path. But, and trusting in your child that they don't go down that path, or that, their spirit guides can help them, or their guardian angels can help them. That even though we know it's there and it's not on our doorstep, sometimes it's just, for me, it's like 2 neighborhoods over, and it exists.
Yeah.
And just acknowledging that, even though I don't want to participate in it, but at the same time, I don't want to see this beautiful creation of Earth destroyed either. Because the more I research it, the more it seems like the beauty of this world has, it's been there for a very long time. And I feel like in my past lives that I've helped create some of this beauty of this world. And it's breaking my heart just to see people heading down a path of destruction that we've done several times before.
Well, you just send healing to the way you see the future. There's darkness here. You send healing to that, but also concentrate on the future. Because this human trafficking timeline cannot last forever. It might seem like it is, but over time, it thins out over time. Those that chose it, eventually that timeline is going to wear out, as everything else does.
Yeah, we can't go on as a society listening to children who have their arms removed or legs removed or voice boxes removed. We can't.
Yes.
We can't continue down that route without taking our light. If we get so submersed into it, I don't think I'm strong enough, not now, in the later part of my life, that I'm going to be able to handle that. I've got to move toward the creative part. So to keep the light going, so that the ones that come after me can open up that realm and bring it to people and say, this is not right. You can't touch someone. Your mom told you you cannot put your hands on someone else. This is not, under Source's law or God's law, whoever your God is.
Well, there is a time of the darkness coming in to light, where even actors, corporations that are involved with the cover-up are slowly being disclosed. So just continue, concentrate on yourself, send out your light. You already know you don't want that timeline to exist or you want to heal it, but its main focus should be you, yes. And you can be consumed by it too much. If you think about it too much, obviously you want to focus on yourself. But many are seeing it, ignoring it, which is fine. But eventually it would be brought more into the consciousness where people can speak about it and heal it completely. But we're not quite there just yet.
So there's actually a very powerful difference between knowing something exists and acknowledging it, and then going, don't want to go there, don't like it, but I'm just going to move on to something else. Or finding out that something exists and going, oh, no, can't think of that. No, wrong. I'm going to turn to look at something else.
Well, even finding it, for them to even find that, to even see it, even if they don't feel comfortable around it, they still connected to it. So they're still acknowledging it exists. They feel it, obviously get terrified by it. But still they want to heal it overall. It all depends on how they react to it, of course. Doesn't mean they have to concentrate on it, because it is a little bit heavy for many to concentrate on. But go about your life, but it still will, as more of this knowledge will find others that aren't aware of it, will come into the light and then be healed. So yes, a lot of these corporations that are hiding it will go down eventually. Yes, many to advertise the children and things like that, so, which is pretty obvious.
I got a question about moving forward and actually, finding a bigger purpose, and making it a way of life, so that I don't have to, work this 9 to 5 anymore. Just like a lot of people that don't really find meaning in their jobs. Is there like going to be a shift in the collective going forward as, an economy kind of produces, a want for professions like these? I don't know.
In due time, yes. So right now, you're dealing with the old energies of the earth. It goes back to the 1950s and before that, but much of it in the 1950s built up to jobs that nobody really wants, but it brings in income. In your future, there will be more timelines for that, more energy efficient jobs, even spiritual jobs that be more clear. It takes time to get there. It just the old guard, the old elite are still programming society. So they're not programming you, but they're programming those that you work for, because they're very much part of the third dimension, as you already know, and they're that's their world, and to take that world away too quickly would be a little bit much.
Does the company I work for participate in any form of human trafficking?
I don't see that. They're aware of it. I don't believe, if it is, it's being blocked. I don't believe so.
Okay.
They are aware of it. They might have contractors connected to it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But they're not like deliberately connected to it. Like,
all right, good deal.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question about my? Oh, sorry.
Yes, please.
Can I ask a question about my personal life?
Yes.
So my life so far has been a complete mess, and I don't want to handle anything anymore. And I can see myself in the near future maybe just end up in a hospital bed anytime soon. So can I have my energy read? So you can give me an alternative perspective on my life.
We don't see you in a hospital bed. I mean, you see yourself in a hospital bed? We don't see that. We see anxiety might seem that way. We feel like the stress is overwhelming, but we don't see you end up in a hospital bed, from our perspective. Well, you're healing your heart at this time. It's hard to heal yourself. Well, I believe this is one of your first lifetimes of actually connecting more within yourself. That's very difficult. Yes, go ahead, please. Do you have any more to add?
Yeah.
But we have nothing to fear. It's just your anxiety is bringing up ideas of your own doom. But I feel like it's a lot of it coming from your mind.
So how can I disconnect from your mind, or how can I do anything about the mind?
Well, you just tell your. It's up to you. Yeah, just tell yourself that you will make it through this. You will accomplish what you're here to accomplish. Focus on your work. Focus on something else that brings some kind of happiness. Imagine there's something in your life that brings happiness to you.
Okay, it's good. It's good to know that.
Yeah, just focus on something that brings you joy. Yeah, it's so easy for people, for humans to. I mean, that's a normal part of society, right? To self, to stop oneself. So that's okay.
I think all of us have been at some point
Of
in
course.
life. I know I have.
Yeah,
I've restarted several times. I've lost everything. I've counted pennies for milk. So, I even had to put up a sticker in my bathroom mirror that said, keep going.
Right.
You have to keep going. And don't let the negative and your mind and the anxiety drag you somewhere that is not going to be beneficial for you or anyone around you.
Well, there are times when you have to individually find a like shut everything down and rebuild. But also showing how powerful you are by rebuilding. Yes, it's just not to give up. It's basically a reset of the timeline. It's scary, but you're there for a reason. It's not there to torture you. It's to show you what you can accomplish. The old you has been hung up and put away. The new you has been born.
Yeah, in my case, I don't even know who I was 20 years ago. I'm a
That's
completely different person.
it doesn't matter. So that was you putting a stop to how you were in the past. You've had enough of that, who you were. And that is the magic of this world. Not an easy, but necessary.
You mentioned how we're moving away from our old selves and we're reborn, but like old injuries, like body, aches and stuff like that, kind of keep reminding us or try to pull us back to our old habits and things like that in order to soothe those pains. So is there a way going forward that we're going to be able to tap into our energy and our body will be able to reflect what our energy is actually, sharing with the rest of creation?
Well, right, yeah. See, why this isn't happening, why you're not seeing as much as you can probably see, has to do with, you call it the movie of the timeline, the movie of it, the story. And so you're all characters in the movie. There's a lot of characters here, as you can see. And it's slowly opening up. I mean, you're doing it astral. It's just, as a human, you're still staying in character. That's why things are not showing themselves just as it could. It's out there. It's just like being an actor in the movie. There's a camera out there, but the audience only sees what you project.
Right. It's more authentic if I keep maintaining a certain level of ignorance, I guess. But
yeah, that's the idea.
Right.
It is frustrating, but it's mostly about the collective than it is about you. You're healing the collective. All of you are. Even the collective is healing the collective. I mean, humanity is entertaining itself, even if it's hard. But humans are kind of holding on to each other, surviving through all this, through conversation, whatever it might be. It's kind of like a tug of war in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
So we can actually go along. We can go, okay, well, it's already happened. I'm just pretending. I'm still pretending that it's not, but I'll assume that it has. It's just for the sake of being human, I'll stay like this.
Yeah, the world needs you as you are. Yes, you can be an artist, you can be a singer, whatever you want, but the earth needs you as you are. It's frustrating, but it shows you are giving to society, you're giving to the timeline. And that's huge. It's a feat. It is, you're climbing a mountain with no rope. Basically.
and at the very, very difficult times, as we were saying, just try to find something that will help us get through. Is that it?
Yes. It is discovering it's difficult, but that's why you're not here to have it easy. I don't believe anyone. Those that have it easy, they'll make it easy on them. They have riches and millions, and some of them, yes, are the most miserable people in the world. More is not enough. They don't have everything. They want more and more and more. And many of you can work with very little. And that shows, the mastery. It's like, you can work with very little, that shows a lot. So, and the rest of the world is trying to figure out how to do that too. The basic necessities, you can attract what you need. Various society is doing that, but there's a portion that has no clue what that is.
I do think one of the hardest things is that we don't realize how incredibly well we're actually doing. We see really how hard it is, and life is really hard, and
yes, it is.
Yeah, and we don't see this amazing, like, the power that we actually do have elsewhere. We just see our little miserable lives of, like, getting up in the morning and doing and making it through the day, and there's not much reflects back to us about it going, you know what? You are absolutely an amazing being doing incredible things. That doesn't reach us.
Well, that's where you find it within yourself for that. Give yourself gratification. Yes, you're getting up and doing the same mundane reality. You're not. Most of you will probably feel, I can be doing this. Can be a whole lot better. But that's why you're once again the movie of what most of society is okay with. So you incarnate, yeah, you don't want to reincarnate, and there's bullies when you're growing up and all that. It's like, what is this place? Like, where's the love? And it shows how many souls have pulled that out of themselves. The aliens have pulled, a lot of them have pulled that out of themselves that are here, refugees. A lot of the aliens they want to keep humans under control so they can have this as their planet. Reptilians and so on. There's various others. So you're healing them too. It's like you're putting up with all of this. And you're healing their energy. And they're quite impressed by you putting up with all this. It's hard, but eventually it'll start to peel away. The facade they put up here cannot last forever. That's why you're here. You're going through enduring their pain that they've created here, but you're also here to have some kind of reason for it. Not just here for no reason.
So have I made peace with this reptilian entity that is currently living with me?
I believe so. I feel like you still talk to him in astral. I believe it's still going through a lot of adolescent energy. It's lost. It's not. Yeah. It's one that does not like humans, but it's learning the good in humans because it was taught that humans are horrible and terrible beings. Anybody meets you, it's like, wait a minute, everything I've been told has been wrong. So
yeah, I got the feeling he's decided to stay because it's like, if we destroy this place, what are we going to do next?
Yeah, it is.
And it's easier to deal with me than his so-called masters.
It feels like that one's hiding out. He's got nowhere else to go, from what I can see. Not about to show himself quite yet, but they're getting there.
I've seen him.
Yeah. Well, they're going to start. Yeah. Well, worldwide, they're going to start showing themselves eventually.
What about him and the Siamese cat?
They're kind of getting along. It doesn't make the cat wants to be around them, but sometimes they're making it work.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else here?
There's an Orion energy there. That way is possible.
What do they want?
They're just there.
Observing?
Yes.
And how about my spirit guides? My 12-foot elf being?
Yeah, it's still there.
Does he know that I speak to him?
Of course. It's just that part. He says that part of you brought a lot of the burdens of the world onto yourself.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so that's what you're going through. So you can heal that side of. It's like you're taking the world over. It's like, here, I'll take care of you all, even if I can't handle it.
That's the mom thing.
Yeah. So you can heal that, and you'll feel better at work. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
so is he with me at work?
Yes, of course. Yes, your energy on the earth is like, well, apparently, like the government does not know any better. So, or the people that agreed to this, so you took matters in your own hands. It seems, at least to heal situation.
To heal, yes.
Yeah, to heal. Yeah, not to anything else. But it was overwhelming, as you know.
Very much so. And how about Grandma?
Yeah, Grandma's there. Well, Grandma's kind of distant because you're healing the world right now. I mean, there's a lot of Archon beings seeing your energy around, and they have not seen. It's like, what is this? So, some of the Archon beings don't want to be healed. So that's some of the backlash you're receiving, it seems.
I'm still coming to heal them.
Yeah.
Do they know that?
Yes and no. I'm not sure if they can handle that mentally quite yet. They know their presence is there. That's all they know.
Okay. Are they entertained?
Yes and no. Yes and no. They don't know how to react to it. Let's put it that way.
And this is kind of weird, but the mouse on my screen is going spastic.
Yeah, that's part
I
of it.
cannot control. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If I can ever get the thing to stop.
You might have to come out
At
and
least-
come back.
I have a question about a dream last night about it was involving a lighter, and I had to keep this lighter lit all the time, and there's another being around, and it was like, oh, I was taking it from room to room, and what was that all about?
Oh, you have to keep the lighter lit, correct? Yeah, because you're sharing
Yeah.
your light. You're sharing your light with others. So that's a big deal. So it's hard holding the light, right? So yeah, you're bringing light to others that America, you're bringing it to their energy, and they're trying to blow it out, trying to push it out of your hand, trying everything. It's like, what are you talking about? We like our agony. It's like, no, you don't need that. You can be at peace with yourself. It's like, well, if you don't want peace, it's still there, because people don't realize they could have peace within themselves. Like there's conspiracy theorists that are very, China's going to come and take over. Those conspiracy theorists are living in those timelines, and some of them are trying to bring it here in your reality. Unfortunately, they say they're here to help you, but are they really? So eventually, that energy will clear itself out. So many are so in panic mode. It shouldn't really matter who's in charge in presidency. Obviously, in the past, it's been a dark period, but we feel like many of you are going to a lighter vibration. More of you opening up spiritually. It's time for the dark side of the movie to come to an end. It's not going to be easy, but you are moving into another chapter that's very unlike. Everything's been different than you've had before. So, the pandemic situation's been different. So it just shows that you're in a different reality, like a different Earth. That doesn't mean it's going to be taken over by China or anything like that. No, maybe that's why you're here to deal with that.
It's going to be taken over by Canada. Yeah.
Well, that would be better than China.
Yeah.
So am I involved in
Yeah.
kicking these conspiracy theories out, or these conspiracy theorists out?
I feel like, yeah, you're letting them speak, but you're there to heal that timeline. It's like they need to say what they need to say, because you don't want to censor, but you're also, I feel like you are working on, it's hard to describe how you're doing it, but you are healing that vibration so it doesn't occur here. Or you're giving others, you already know where the future is going, even if you're not. I believe you are internally knowing, but yeah, you don't. What I see, you're not censoring, but you're letting them speak, but you're also seeing the timeline where that type of rhetoric is finally coming to an end. Not yet, because many still need it. It's part of they've given their power to it, but it's getting less and less over time. Especially when they're calling wolf all the time. There's no wolf. So people are eventually going to figure that out, but obviously many have not figured it out completely just yet, because they're trying to manifest this thing. And most people are not realizing they're doing that.
And it's become a cesspool of conspiracy theories, and people just shut it all off. Then, it makes it hard for actual legitimate ones that are happening to see the light or be taken seriously.
Well, yes, the human trafficking was talked about, not in a panic way, but more of if these conspiracy theorists were bringing more information about that would bring more of a healing to bring it actually quicker into the light, actually.
Yeah, that's the primary focus it should be going forward.
Yeah. Without they can't add drama to it. That's the thing. They like to add drama to China taking over. For them, that's their entertainment. There's also yes, terrifying in some ways because they're trying to literally bring that timeline in, which we don't see happening, but still, they're still trying to do it. It's those that are doing it are, it's bringing a lot of unnecessary karma to them, but that's they decided to do so though. So
I'm pretty well read in like old school occult and stuff and magic, and that's exactly how you bring it in, like just
exactly
concentrating on it, and speaking it.
Well, that's why you're healing that energy. So I mean, there are a time and a place for those things to happen, but this isn't it. The world's been through those things already. Through and people weren't predicting it; it just happened. But now it's a different energy, of course, too. It is a new age you're going into. It might not be as exciting as some of the conspiracy theorists would like it to be. Well, they have to give themselves justification why they're here. They can change their priorities, and some are, most aren't.
So are you basically saying that we can all just now relax? We've actually done most of the hard work, and now danger's over. We're not there yet, but those timelines are gone. We're on the right timeline. So relax,
yes,
enjoy it.
Well, yes, but yes, I mean anything can happen with their government. They can choose to do, a war, but you still put your energy of healing that. We see them not doing that, at least at this moment, but that's what you're working on right now. The more calmer you are, the more calmer that timeline will be. Yes.
Okay, but we still do. War exists because we still have free will, I guess, or
your collective is still
there,
allowing it. It's something like that's been around for thousands of years. It's not something that you instantly heal. It's been breaking down for a while now. I feel like it'll break down. Africa can use a lot of. Yemen can use a lot of healing there. Yemen's a quiet war, a civil war. A lot of the souls are leaving the earth, and it shows. Yeah, Yemen is going to be a different place in the future. Eventually, it'll be brought to light, but it's like a galactic war going on over there. But Africa, more energy being brought to Africa in a positive way. Your elites are not ready for that yet, because when you get to Africa, when it becomes more of a safe place for everyone, especially South Africa, that's when more of your history becomes discovered, like the founding of humanity, things of that. Things are restricted for travel is restricted for a reason, but eventually, when more things are opening up, as you're already going to Europe, tourism and all that, which is great. There are other sites you can go to, such as Iraq. Yeah, you can go there, but obviously you have to be careful what you're getting involved. The idea is to go to Iraq and have it be like one of the safest places in the world. That's what you're working towards. So then you can connect to the energies of it and heal your earth. That's what you're working on right now, which is crazy thinking when you think about it, according to your current timeline. So, a lot of the conspiracy theory energy is this old energy. It's just, some of those souls have been hijacked. Some of those beings, yes, because they get wealth from putting out that conspiracy theory panic energy. They're rewarded for it, but that can only last so long. When it starts to fade out, it hasn't faded out yet, but it will eventually. And many of them in silence for a reason, because you are going into a calmer timeline. And we get more. Yes, censorship is not the best, obviously, but if it's a panic energy, the collective is saying it's time to hit the mute button on it, and we'll get more quieter and quieter over time, because the collective doesn't need it anymore. So it's a gradual process.
Is that going to cause more and more friction and escalation as more and more people get censored and taken off platforms?
Well, I feel right now it's quiet right now. We feel like we don't see a whole. There might be one or two instances, possibly, but those are going to be more extreme situations.
So you see more people playing nice online.
Yes, things are going to start calming down more, going to other platforms and doing, but their voice isn't heard as much as it used to.
Right.
And
They're kind of compartmentalizing information where, a group of
yes,
people don't really see everything happening.
all that panic energy goes into lower astral and it makes it stronger. They're not realizing that. And that's part of adolescence, part of growth. But you're also making it more difficult to be here. But it is the main collective, the main timeline. You hear it less. Like on the major social networks, you hear it less. And so you see the major social networks, like they're like human consciousness. Yes, there might be censoring, but it also shows human consciousness doesn't need that energy anymore.
See, the problem with that is that's how it used to be. You didn't hear it as much, but it, that made it easier to hide. I'm worried that, people are just going to start forgetting that there's these issues, underlying that the media isn't even talking about.
Times will change. Eventually, media will be the ones talking about it. Eventually, but not yet. It's too soon for it yet. But because the voices have not dimmed just yet, so they're still out there.
All right, so they're going to actually start doing their job.
Exactly. Yeah, it just hasn't come yet. And slightly some are talking about aliens mainstream. That's saying a lot. So the other mainstream. So yes, their voices are going to be completely muted just yet, because it's getting there. Probably another year or two, when they'll get to more serious issues. They're still doing the propaganda, of course.
Yeah, and that'll only sell for so long.
Yes, and that's when they're going to go to more real issues, and that's what they're heading towards.
All right, good deal. Thank you for that blessing.
Yes, it's just a slow process. Once again, it's the collective is just it's slow to adapt for many reasons.
Speaking of censorship, I remember seeing a propaganda poster from the 30s. It's a Nazi poster that said that Hitler is being censored. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, you can say that, yes. Well, in the past, yes, he was. And you see what he's turned into. Well, that was, he was set up from the very beginning to be what he was. So, but yes, but I don't see that happening in here. Now, there might be some that will get extreme a little bit. There's a possibility of that. A little extremists here and there, yes. You're like we had in the Middle East, some of that is now at home. So, yeah, some of that might occur. As you're already seeing it already with vandalism. And that's manufactured, though. But they're manufacturing so they can get someone else to be violent. So that's part of your elites.
That's that K Ultra you're referring to, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Lower income people, they're just easy to take advantage of.
Right. And they signed up for that too. That's part of their own warnings too. So it's a lot of they're brave souls to go through something like that.
Was that the case similar to the protester, the Viking that stormed Capitol Hill?
Oh, for like MK Ultra?
Yeah. Was he under impression? Because he does have government ties.
Yeah, but he was more doing it for his own enjoyment.
Okay. It seems like he was getting played in a way.
Yes. He was playing with the Matrix himself. Notice how he dressed himself up and all of this.
Didn't hide his tattoos and notice.
Yeah, a lot of that's his ego too. He had a blast doing it. So you can say part of it is control, yes, to some degree.
He was an actor.
Yeah.
Or a failed actor.
Yeah, so he fulfilled his mission. He might be blaming it on Trump and someone else, but he had a blast doing it. The journey was that's what he was there for. And he really made that moment. If he wasn't there, would it be the same? No. It would not have. He's like he's the, what do you call it? The Mickey Mouse of it, you can say.
The poster boy.
Yes.
It does look like fun what he's doing, though.
For him, it was fun. Yeah, maybe not. I mean, many of you would probably do the same thing.
Well, that storming
But
the Capitol, was that the trigger that put us on this refresh timeline? Things could have gone ways, but it was like a pivot point.
That was already planned for it to go the way it was going to go.
Okay.
It was already staged, as you know, as you've heard. Yeah.
So how long in advance previously has this timeline that we were reset onto, was this decided on?
A year.
Okay.
It was set in place for a year. They weren't exactly how it was going to go. There was different scenarios. They themselves had to see how it play out. So.
On this day, is this the White House?
This is the White House. Well, it is showing. There's a lot of darkness to see. I believe there's more of a compromise that's going on right now. So,
right,
a lot of deals are being made before that happened. So,
this feels like peace has been established, but on a bed of lies. For those of us, seeing it from this perspective. Everyone else, they're, just living their lives. But it makes it hard for somebody that knows more to just kind of forget it and try and find happiness and what everyone else is doing. So how does somebody that just feels like they can't do the old things that used to find pleasure in, how can they find sanity here going forward? Just finding pleasure in whatever they can find.
Well, many of you are kind of preparing to be disappointed again, as you probably know. You know something is on the horizon. You just don't know what it is. So, yeah, it's up to the individual. I feel like many of you are going to be on guard to mentally prepare yourself for something that they're planning on revealing, backstabbing society, like doing mask mandates. But there's more to it. So,
just for the purpose of waking people up.
Yeah, many are on guard right now. This is part of the awakening, though. It's a very hard awakening, as you can see.
All right, at least we can mentally prepare ourselves and get us, I know whatever in advance for what the year has in store for us. So
it's just this is a hard lesson that's many are going through. Many of you are awakened, but there's others that are finally. It has to go this way for many to start, because if it had more of a Republican win, many aren't really going to truly awaken. But now many of them are looking at things a lot differently now.
Yeah, the show has to change. The media has to change its ways. They're the little maestros that like to play the fiddle that keeps the people marching. Yeah.
I don't feel like they're going to go away yet. They're still necessary. They have a lot of changes they have to go through, but they're programming society, but they can also be used for a positive, and that's still in the work. Yes, it's more service to self, but eventually it'll be more service to others. It's very much service to self, especially your CNN. Many of them are service, actually needing most of them.
Yeah, and they're gonna complain and attack as much as they can until they reclaim power. And then once they have it, then everything's fine. But once everything is fine and they try to do the old programming, people are going to get bored and turn off.
Right. Because, well, they'll find alternative sources and they'll find more about themselves.
Yeah, and then media will have to start reporting on things that actually gains people attention, like the truth.
Exactly. And they're going to put little nuggets of truth out there. And they already have to a certain degree. But they're programmed by the elite, as you can see. The elites it's like the blood of the elite. It's like their narcissism. The elitist narcissism that's poisoned, but you're also seeing how the elite act by seeing how his news journalists act. How, not exactly, but how tuned out they are. Yeah. How unsympathetic they are. That's very much like some of the elite, not all.
And narcissists would say they don't need healing.
Right.
Why would I need healing?
Oh yeah, that's not even. They feel like they're getting healing now. Well, most of them are delusional. They live in a fantasy world. They live in the biggest fantasy world that anybody lives in.
They rule the world, but they have to hide themselves.
But they have to they sold themselves out.
Right.
That's the thing.
I mean, in a sense, everyone does. We just fall in line. On our own.
There's a certain version of that. you have to do what you have to do here. Just like those that sign up for war, there's casualties.
You have to conform to a certain point, otherwise you just be homeless.
Correct. This is just another form of war, as you know. It's not a combat war. It's a mental war.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's
Yeah.
It is. The mental war is the hardest war. The war where you don't see a war. You so-called see peace, but it's not really peace.
Right. Yeah. And it makes me wonder, like, how could you build a foundation off of this when it's destined, like history to say, it's not going to last?
Oh, what's going to last? Exactly. Just
The peace. Yeah, peace built off of lies, you know, just not
well,
really.
yes, no, it won't last. No. What is being sold? No, not. No, there'll be cracks in it.
So I'm just like, what do I have to do to break this cycle finally? What do we got to do to get the truth out?
Well,
but Bobby,
the truth will have to be seen eventually.
Yeah.
But Bobby, it's this thing of, if you're struggling, the more you struggle against it in your own personal life, you're just creating waves within you rather than going, okay, the truth has its timeline. So let me try to make the best of it right here and now.
Well, the media, as you know, look what they have to create to hide the truth. All the money, look at the manufacturing they have to do to hide it. That's a lot of work to keep things hidden. The truth does find its way, and it burns when it shows. They know when it hits, they try to turn everybody to another direction, or even tune them out if their forces show what's really going on. It really burns them, to be honest. Really, all of them, majority of them at least. And those that do put the truth in aren't that popular. So.
I get what you're saying, Tristan. You know, with working, you know, with what you've got now and trying to make a life out of it, it's just kind of hard to say I want to build a foundation from this point forward when it just feels like it's temporary. Like we're going through like a whirlwind of changes, and we just feel like there's no point in getting comfortable at this point.
No.
But that's like saying, okay, I'll just sleep out here without building a little hut and to protect me from the rain. It's like, well, build a hut. I mean, it'll protect you from the rain until something, you know, it won't last, but at least you'll be able to sleep and not get wet at night.
Right.
But as a warrior, it's very hard to sit back and watch it go to hell.
I did not hear that.
Lisa, you're really, really quiet.
That's because I had to change to my phone because I couldn't get a hold of my computer.
Ooh, you're still really, really, really quiet.
You can type your question if you like. Would that be easier?
No, but I believe what she was saying was that it's kind of hard to sit on the sideline and watch it go down. You know, when you're kind of
you have to look at it like that.
Yeah, but then that goes back to, you know, how much do we look at something? We look at it enough that we can handle it, and then stop looking at it if it's dragging you down too far. Because then what good are you doing if you're just going, oh my God, this is so hot? Well, stop it. Go off and do something else. Find something better.
Concentrate. You're in a timeline of concentrating more on yourselves. It might be hard or not used to it, but that energy will get more clear. Right now it might be foggy because it's just not part of what people do it, but you're in a time where you're going to see it more of that get stronger as you get used to seeing more of yourself. Now many are doing this, of course, but even they are going to find themselves going deeper into themselves when they weren't even looking that deep. So this is more of a new era, just not showing its true self just yet. We get more cosmic downloads, and yes, humans here signed up for one of the darkest timelines you can. I mean, not just now, but human history. Obviously, a lot of things have been hidden from history, which makes it even more darker when you don't know where, because those have been changing history forever. That makes it even harder. It makes it even, it's like you're taking a book with your knowledge and ripping out a lot of the pages. And you feel like this book is hollow. It's like, there's something here I'm not. Because they don't want, they want, as you know, the version of human, they're always retelling how it is to be human. Television tells people how to be. When in truth, that's just a fraction, it's programming, obviously. It's just a fraction of what you're hearing. The engineers of humanity obviously know what they're doing. They're doing an excellent job. Many of you have rewritten that, wrote your own book of society. Obviously, that's why why you have anxiety, because you become finding your truth, but your truth does not fit in this reality.
Yeah, that's a feeling I get with a lot of light workers who didn't come here to fit in.
Yes, it's lonely, but it's better than the alternative. Of course, some would rather go back into sleep mode. But it's kind of impossible to do that. We feel like it will get more exciting here for many of you. It's still warming up, that's all.
Speaking of light workers, on a different level, astral or spirit or whatever, this group here, are we like related somehow, or are we?
You all come from different star systems to bring your information here. So some of you are like silent right now, but you're working astrally for this to find the right person to heal their journey, to make them feel like they're normal, seeing things differently. Because some really see themselves as outside of society altogether. So, but yeah, all of you just bring your energies to help with the message that's being said here. Because you want it to be heard. Even if it's not the loudest message yet, because society is, yes, big on drama. And drama is humorous from our perspective. It's, well, a dull world adding drama, taking nothing and turning it into a news story is quite, that's inventive. I mean, it might not be the best energy, but a lot of us in spirit are just, you can take like someone throw a candy bar and make it into a big story, and really, or dating somebody you don't want to date. They're finding somebody. I mean, divorce happens all the time. In your world, they make it like it's the end of the world, and technically they really create it as it is the end of the world for some people, which it really should not have to be that way.
Yeah, they do more
So
healing
that means
stories to make you feel like you're proud to be a human being. If you see, like inspiration from other people and news stories that they report.
Yes. Well, they tell people that having drama, there's nothing wrong with drama, but some take it to a whole new level. It's like some are trying to make all this drama just to get noticed, like on your internet. Celebrities try to do it. That's not them. They can't be themselves, especially if you want publicity for yourself. They do the thing just to get publicity and buy their album or whatever it might be. Yeah, it's
Yeah, and the same in the political causes too.
Politicians, I believe very little what most politicians in public say. They say very little truthful words. They find ways of like making it look like the truth, but it really isn't. At least on a major public. And a lot of them are being told what to say, of course, due to their contracts that they signed to get them in the power to begin with, meaning their backers, their financial backers. So yes, they pretty much they turned themselves into a puppet. They don't have to be a puppet, but not all of them turn themselves into a puppet. Some of them do say with the right, what's right. Yes, of course, they might lose their political situation, but at least they can live with themselves.
Right.
Yeah, majority is just a show, unfortunately.
I think it's the energy that the attitude reflects leadership, that they don't have a lot of self-love for themselves. And they promote that into the public, and the consciousness, lives in the same kind of death culture as well.
Well, a lot of politicians have lost themselves. They lost the respect for themselves. So they just do whatever they're told now. So, yes, Nancy Pelosi is on a power trip. Lost all connection to humanity or like care. Like she thinks she cares, but really not really. If that was the case, you'd feel more party helping communities and all, which isn't the case. It's mostly like an attack, especially on Trump. So it shows how disconnected they can get, and that, which is mind control at its best. For example, of course, always put politicians like spirit sees it all. They act like they're doing this all in secret, but the spirit world sees it all. So,
I think changing speed. Again, back to Lisa was talking about beings around her. I wanted to know if there were beings around me.
there's Arcturian energies around you at this time. You're doing a lot of self healing at this time. There's been past lives where you didn't always know who you were. You're kind of going with the trends. Now you're going to more of who you are overall. So there's been times, past lives, you're just, I mean, not that you're bad, but you're just conforming to society as you need to function. In this life, you're allowing more of your true self to come through. Your spiritual self. You don't have to hide yourself anymore. That makes sense.
Oh, speaking of this group, I think
Yeah.
a lot of us here are Irish, especially me. You tell me more about like our energies and places that have a lot of Irish people, like Boston and Chicago.
Well, yeah, that was to bring it to the United States for it to heal, to take it back, to take it easy on itself, to not be. They've had their dark time, but Irish energy is usually of a lighter vibration overall. They've had their moments in the past, but overall, yes, to just drink and hang out and take it easy, and that's you're bringing that vibration. Even if you're not doing those things, you're still bringing that vibration here. A lot of that's Assyrian energy. It's just to another form of calm. It's just to have lazy conversation. That's better than erratic nonsense that's happening to the reptilians. The reptilian beings that are here, at least in hiding, most of them, don't have a home. Yes, they're manipulating society. They're like an army, basically. They have the military here to hide themselves. So eventually, when humans start to become more Irish, that's when things start to open up more. Well, especially when you can see an alien being, instead of being afraid of it, say, "Oh, how are you doing? How can I help you?" I'm not sure if society is quite in that energy level at this time.
Oh, the Kennedys are Irish. Are they kind of like working with us as an astral?
Yes. Yeah, Irish energy is basically, I mean, you can say technically, astrally, some of you get other people drunk. I mean, if they're delusional and losing their minds, you go into astral, just here, take this psychedelic. I mean, might as well. It's better than, I mean, they're not driving or anything. Because some of them can't get out of control at astral too. Because all their fear is so like they're all fearful going to bed. It's like, oh, I'm afraid that China's going to come and get us, and they go to sleep, and then many of you go into their dreams, say, here, take this, calm down, take a hallucinogen, chill out. Then they wake up, feel like they used to be a mushroom or something. So yes, there's a battle on all levels here. Trickster energies want to hold. They love that panic energy, that fearful energy. They just get aroused by it. They can't just. To them, that's excitement to just because they want to take over a person's soul. Not all lower dimensional beings are like that. Many are. Well, if they can capture a soul here, make theirs, that's a major accomplishment. They get a celebrity, it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, it's good and evil is always going to be fighting here until you realize what the evil is here that you're healing. So.
No, I heard in the channeling that that this planet was admitted into the Galactic Federation, that they're instituting a Galactic Codex by divine law, and then is this there's something that's going to happen, you know, as far as a peace treaty between the light and the dark on this planet going forward, or is there going to be, you know, like a limiting of numbers, you know, in a sense, kind of like the war that we aren't seeing at this point?
Well, those of you that are here are that peace treaty.
Right.
The Galactics can sign all the peace treaties they want. They've been doing that forever, and it hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, it felt like it's an infringement, and the Dracos came in channeling the other day, or the other week, saying like the damn Federation thinks they can do whatever they want. So it's obviously not going to find middle ground with the way that they're instituting it.
Right.
You know, it just feels like it's oppressive in a way, but it's following divine law. But who checks them, and how do they keep their neutrality?
Well, they're doing it as putting at the timeline of, it's like, yes, they're aliens. There's not much they can do. They can do, you know, help you not destroy yourselves through weapons, but they can write all the treaties all day long, and as they do. They're trying to put out a vibration that human collective will pick up on it. But that's why many of the aliens don't want to incarnate and actually be in your situation. Many of them are terrified of reincarnating, as you can probably feel that energy. It's easier to be on a ship and do all these things, yeah.
To clear the way for lighter beings and souls to come in.
That's what you're doing, yes. So you need, I mean, not to say it needs to get uglier here, but through what all you've been through, you're doing this for, you know, tens of thousands of beings. We're not just saying that to make it easier for others, that because a lot of lighter energies can't handle what you're going through right now. So many of you turned off a lot of your knowledge just so you can handle this. A lot of beings, like, you turn off my knowledge. It's like, I can't remember Atlantis. I can't remember my lives in spirit. It's like, yeah, you got to turn all of that off.
Yeah. When in Rome.
Yeah, I mean, somebody has to do it.
It sure helps. It
Yeah,
helps a lot because you think this is reality, and so you're concerned with, you know, oh, my coffee doesn't taste that great, or, you know, or concerned with whatever. But it's like, it's a very limited problem than souls being taken over, you know.
Well, just living, as you would call it, a mundane life, getting up and putting on your clothes and going to a job or whatever it might be, combing your hair. Alien beings look at that like, never. It's like, what is that? Just mundane things, shaving, you know, it's like just those little things. And then you go outside in society, you might get abused, you might get attacked, especially if you're a female. It's just the alien beings are like, yeah, you guys are the troopers here. For sure. You forgot a lot of your alien knowledge. You turned all of it off. Any being can do that. Higher vibrational beings say you can't do it. Yes, you can. You might not like it. You might be miserable here, but anybody can do it. Now, is your soul strong enough to handle that? That's another, because they get spoiled. Aliens get spoiled. Anybody can get spoiled. When you have like $1 million or whatever, all this money, you get spoiled. So you get weaker. So, but a strong soul is like, I'm a millionaire, but now I'm broke. That's how you keep yourself strong. And
so when the mission is done,
go ahead.
Please go ahead. So when the mission is done here and the planet's liberated, what's the universe gonna look like? What kind of change can we, you know, see from our little spot right here?
Well, yeah, the universe will be wider and more advanced, to be easier to travel. We can, as a human, you can travel mentally to different worlds. You don't necessarily need a ship because you've been through the energies of the Earth. You have all the energies of these other, like all these planets assisting your planet or your DNA, where your DNA comes from. You can connect those planets very easily. Obviously, you're not aware of them right now. And some, you know, about Venus, Mars, Jupiter. There's other planets and other galaxies that you're connected to also. They can just mentally connect to it or actually be physically there. It's up to you. The universe is going to, well, we feel that it's still going to find a way to test itself, but it wants to be known. It wants to be a different type of universe than others. That this world is like its champion to show that it can be unlike any other universe. That yes, you can do, as you said, mundane things, shut down everything. It's like this world is like it's on their mantle. It's on their like this is kind of like a prize, but not really. But it's like, hey, look what we created here.
Kind of like a prototype.
Yeah, other universes, other beings are just looking at this place like, first of all, why would you want to do that to begin with?
I know, for real.
Other beings like, no, you can learn easier than going through all that. But if you want to do everything, as some beings would say, ass backwards.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, they're showing that they can do it all backwards and so keep it functional. They didn't do this for it to make sense. That's why some of you are aggravated. It's like none of this makes any sense. It's not supposed to.
We also we learn a whole lot more. It's like we have to learn how to tie our shoes. That you don't have to, and it seems so mundane, but we have to go through that to do it.
Yes.
And it's possible here. So
many
it's like
here,
the difference between.
Yeah,
right?
Well, many here, yes, getting their hair cut is probably the what aggravating things they have to deal with. That's one of them. The other thing is health, as some people do have a lot of health issues. Some people are trying to leave the earth. Some souls just their bodies just their energy cannot sustain this earth's vibration. Their body breaks down easily. So it's different for everyone. But some souls are trying to get out of here, trying to cause liver problems, trying to even give themselves, some people just give themselves cancer because they're not getting their way. So it's different for everyone, but health is a major thing here, of course, but especially those that have had an easy lifetime, then they give themselves health problems. They need to give themselves some kind of challenge. So they don't want a relationship problem, they don't want a financial problem, so just give them a health problem. So everyone's different on that level.
Can that be healed at a spiritual level where people feel more empowered, and reclaiming their power back, where they could be able to avoid those kind of ailments that happen to the body and actually start reproducing cells in the body and healing ourselves, involving ourselves?
Well, many self-sabotage, but yes, if they do that, they don't have problems. That's the thing. So they're wanting to their problem, but yes, you can. It's a gradual process, as you can see, but yes, you're working towards it.
Yeah, to see, because I think the biggest obstacle towards alien interaction on this planet is people not feeling empowered, feeling helpless with and then having to be defensive when aliens start to make themselves known, because they don't have the self-confidence in themselves that they're powerful souls as well, and but they don't view themselves because that's the programming in society at the moment. So that's what I was trying to get at with is there like a spiritual movement that people are gonna have within themselves where they start acknowledging the power within them and the God spark and the divine that they can call upon?
Well, yes, it'd be like an Atlantean Lemurian movement. It's happening now, but it's not very powerful at this moment because many spiritual teachers are celebrities, which is nothing wrong with that. But yes, it has not. Basically, be like healing centers. Basically, it has not quite found it. Not like Mount Shasta is in some form of it. So yes, like towns near mountains basically is a form of when that begins. It's not part of, even Sedona has some of that. So it's just not part of the consciousness just yet.
So people see physical manifestations of these changes happening in people, and their curiosity will be sparked in a way?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
It's just a lot of layers a lot of humans are in they're just not ready to allow that energy to come through. But even in California, it's funny how in California, as dark as it is, many are becoming more spiritually connected there in their spiritual communities.
But so you'd say people are ready to see these things, though, not ready
Some,
to accept it, you
yeah,
know,
some.
it's something that they can do yet, but it's something that they're ready to see.
Well, the small communities are, yes.
Okay.
Larger ones, not so much, not yet. Even some spiritual teachers aren't ready to see it yet. Well, some spiritual teachers are going through their own healing, where they need the challenges in their own darkness still. They're not about to hit the delete button on that just yet. So they need their problems so they can relate to others.
You see it as like children being able to awaken some of these abilities within themselves, that it inspires the older generations to actually get more interested into it.
Yes. That's what you're building towards right now. With the newer generations, when they're born here, and they're kind of doing that now, it's going to become more of like a baby boom hippie movement, where more parents are aware of spiritual development, aware of aliens and all this, and just allowing their children to, talk to spirit. To obviously the parents are there to protect them, but allowing more of that spiritual side to come through, and more of these children are going to be more of, they don't want laws anymore. They don't want, they allow their sexuality to be free, and they don't want to drive in a car anymore. They want to levitate. First, that's going to be a different time to be in. Yeah, you're building up to that era. You're building that road currently, actually.
Yeah, just people more in tune with their own ability, their own power.
Exactly. So it is happening on a small scale, but it's going to be a tough one for it to. I mean, one day it will be everywhere, but it's still very early at this time. But this is paving the way for you. You are giving inspiration to future generations. I mean, spiritually, they do connect to you now. So.
Is that like through a Metatron energy?
It's through many, all energies, everything.
Yeah, again, within that department of working with the children, I was kind of referencing the Metatron, because I asked in a previous question in another webinar, but they said my connection with Metatron is I working with these children coming in, and the ones already here, that are going through tough times, as my childhood wasn't the easiest going either. So I guess I'm there as a support, protection, or something or the other. They were kind of vague with it, but.
Well, it's vague because it's too early right now for it to fully, because humans are, if you have like crystal children are being born here. When they start talking about levitation and spirit guides, it's going to terrify a lot of parents. At least those are right. But yes, you are assisting children to speak up more. Yes.
Right, not get off in themselves and shut themselves down.
Yeah. So there's going to be less shutting down in the future, but there'll be more children where you can't wait for them to. I mean, already baby talks are them talking. When the parents are more psychically aware, or metaphysically aware, they can read the energy. I mean, of course, they can do it now, but they can take it to another level, of course.
If we learn to do that with animals, we can do that with our own babies, then, right?
Right. Correct. Yeah.
Can we speak about like China and Asia and censorship stuff?
Yes, China has a lot of things to hide, but it also has a lot to disclose. It wants to keep the West out, but it is having its own disclosure eventually of even alien contact. We feel like the Chinese wanted to be alien contact before anybody else, just to let you know. I mean, they're doing everything else. So that's why they're going into space. They're doing their own thing. They are working towards that. So don't be surprised if they start talking about it more than anyone else. They're keeping it quiet for obvious reasons, but yeah, the state is kind of arrogant, as you know. That's censoring everyone. But people are finding ways around it, showing their resourcefulness. But yeah, there's a dragon energy there that's very controlling. But eventually, most of the censorship, as I said, is to keep the West out. It has to do with spies also, because China does spy on a lot of countries too. It's back and forth. China does break a lot of rules too, but But eventually, because China is like a spiritual monster, not in a bad way, but it can really start opening things up for others. But it's kind of censoring itself before it starts to do that. So it can allow wizards come through. People, yes, was it called Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where people can actually hop on trees. The energy does exist there. It's just hidden. So they're keeping a lot of magicians hidden, censored. It would scare people, but you know, a lot of people would be amazed by it. So yeah.
I was born in Vietnam, not in China, but like we have a similar system here. In China, they have only one political party, which is the Communist Party of China. In Vietnam, we have only one political party, is the Communist Party of Vietnam. And the reason why it is we only have one political party because the Communist Party think that they know best. So it is no point. So what is the point of having another political party to oppose them because they know best? So no one should oppose them. And I thought it was normal because I grew up normally as a child until I reached adulthood, and I've gone to Western countries, and yeah, it was mind blowing. You guys have a better self, at least a better system in the West.
Mhm.
And when the Twitter starts censoring Trump, people were complaining about it, but it was just the norm. It was just the norm in our Asian countries. It has always been like that. So earlier this year, when the COVID started, I cannot speak anything about the the shady thing about behind it because the government will surely fine me for like $400 for the first time, and the second time they're gonna lock me up in jail. And the public, the general public, actually lies that because the sentiment is like, yeah, let's lock up all the conspiracy theorists, all the what to say, because we was because I was just talking the wrong thing. The only legitimate and the right thing was the thing that the social media and the mainstream media say. And if I go against that, there will be really serious consequence in terms of legal actions. So how can like all the activists here overcome that? What is the alternative way to go around this?
Well, yes, is you can connect to other. Well, even if you do connect to other Western countries, it's through the internet. It's still very difficult. Yeah, the Chinese only want their version of the truth, as you know, their own conspiracy theories. But it shows that they're hiding. If they're gonna find you, obviously they're showing what they're hiding. So, with your energy, we feel it's best, yes, not to say anything. Anytime you try to work around their system, they'll figure it out. So just do what you're doing right now. It's for your safety. It really is. Because they are monitoring anyone that's trying to walk around their wall that they created. They'll find you eventually, as you probably already know. So we feel it's best just to lay low, play good with them right now. Because you don't want all that you don't want your whole lifestyle taken away. Because they will find a way to do it. For right now, just endure it for right now. That's all we can say. You have no good answer for that.
One of the things,
Yeah.
one of the things I understand is that, in terms of getting the news out there or having an impact on the world, it's that our own understanding, our own viewpoint, actually has as much of an effect as if we shout it out to everyone. It's the personal, the change in our vibration and our energy affects the whole world, whether or not we've said it to one person beside
Right.
us or we've managed to convince like 1 million people. Am I correct?
If you say it, just by you connecting to the truth, you don't have to tell anybody. You can tell a friend where you feel the most. You want to keep yourself in safety. Obviously, some disagree. That's fine. If you want to be put into a jail for saying the truth, that's for you to go through, but you don't have to put yourself through that. You realize you're liberating humanity, and that might be true. You're usually doing it for yourself, but yes, because you're putting out that vibration just by being you. The earth feels it. Just like many of you are opening up spiritually. You don't have to put yourself online and try to save the world. This you have a different tone to you now, and the earth can feel it. And this, the more you are comfortable with you, the world feels it. Yeah, you don't have to put yourself on, candid camera or anything like that. As they say.
What was the dominant animal? Do they have like a powerful animal they can connect to in Vietnam?
In Vietnam, or
Yeah,
a
Like-
dominant. Okay, let's go ahead.
it's like how Chinese connect to the dragon. Is it kind of similar?
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, Vietnam would be the dragon. It's always reptilian connected. Even with the United States. The United States does have a bald eagle, but I don't know if you want to connect to that or not. Usually it's the wizards that want all the attention. Doesn't mean dragons are bad, far from it. Dragons can be hostile. They can be higher vibrational. They can be many things. You can see what they're going through. China is basically a giant dragon. It has its it doesn't always agree with the people are doing there. It does not agree with the censorship. But that censorship, when that wall comes down, it's going to be a different world. And they're actually preparing for it. Not yet. But they know the time. They can't keep it like that forever.
Well, like for me, I'm really connected to the spider and similar animals, and I was told that in South Africa, there's like a lot of spider beings there trying to heal it.
Yes. Well, there is also the reptile, once again. Individually, yes, connect to what works for you, but the reptile is a very prominent energy. Actually, like in the United States, also is the horse. Of course, you don't have, people aren't riding horses, but actually, who's run into, have you run into a horse you don't like? Horses, for overall, are usually pretty decent. They're not like cats. Cats have their own way of, well, because cats get spoiled. Dogs get spoiled, but they still are easy to manage. Cats, on the other end, it's like having a child that's now a millionaire that runs the place. So, but a horse is just, the stallion is such a neutral vibration. So, yes, there's any other questions before we exit out?
Canada, is our beaver of any importance?
Of course, yeah, they're very humorous.
Yeah.
They can, yes, build dams, build. They're mostly humor beings, though. They can be social. They're just, it's just a comedy show there.
I do have a question about a dream. I had a dream that an owl that was made out of paper, like a paper mache lifelike owl, came flying at me and landed in my hands, and it was hopping around. It was like the weight of paper, and I put it on the ground and watched it hop around. Well, I felt like maybe I should have gotten something more from that, but some message from it, but I put it on the ground.
Well, yes, you're looking at things differently. A paper mache owl, so giving you a different perspective. So it's like you're cloaking. I believe it's more about you, how you cloak your energy. So, and it's in a position where nobody will see it. So you're scanning energies, but you're not seeing.
Yeah, not organic, or you wouldn't expect it. It was like a magical kind of Harry Potter kind of looking creature. It was a lifelike looking owl, but it was just made out of paper.
Yeah, you came here to touch others. You came here to unlock people from the third dimension, but you're doing it spiritually because you know you can't do it physically. Well, you would like to, but you're building the energy. You're technically like a wizard here. even if you don't do wizard work. Well, you technically do. You just don't have a wand, or maybe you do.
No, not yet.
But you are technically a wizard here, and that's why you are tuned in the way you are. You've seen darkness here. You had to see darkness in your past lives, but now you're healing it because it was just you had to see how low can you go, especially in a world like this. That's why a lot of souls do that. They just see how bad, how horrible can I get? And there's nothing wrong with that. Just healing from it, that's hard. There's no judgment. The universe wants to see what you're capable of. Knowledge is knowledge. Positive can, yes, become very demonic, as many of you notice. Yeah, the positivity is another version of can be a trickster energy too, as you know. So,
Well, thank you for that. Blessings.
yes, blessings to you all. We will return in the future. So, blessings.